Yes, and welcome to my wonderfully thrilling, brilliant live reaction to Crystal Palace 2, Liverpool 1. Yay. I'm sure I'm going to get lots of subscribers and well wishes for this one. It's not cool, is it? Just to say at the start, because I always forget this, this video will be on YouTube podcasts. So that's Geek Boy, a Liverpool story, which most of the subscribers will know by now, and also it will be on YouTube videos whenever it could be processed. I can't imagine many people wanting replays after the dross we were just served up this afternoon. But yes, hi Johnny, you're all right, mate. Yes, I will speak to you in 1 second, bro. Just let me get this off my chest. But yeah, the video will be out tomorrow at some point if you really want to re-watch it, which I can't imagine many people will do. But yeah, let's dive into it. So, also as well, this is the first time since I've been doing these live streams where I've done one and Liverpool have lost. I like to think I'm quite a mature man as a human being and as a father. Because I teach my son not to throw paddies and this, that, and the other. I am not the best person at losing. In fact, I'm probably one of the worst people at losing, so do bear with me if I go a bit nuclear, which I might do on a couple of occasions. First thing to say is congratulations to Crystal Palace. Look, I mean, everyone knows if you follow the game, I listen to it on the radio, and I've just seen literally some of the highlights when I was doing the research for this. And I mean, even in the highlights, I mean, you didn't need to see the game. I mean, what I've watched is garbage, basically. I've just watched a 10-minute highlight reel. I mean, it was nothing short of appalling. I mean, to be honest, if someone, because like I said, like, I listened to the first half on the radio, and there were at least 5 to 6 golden chances Palace had in that match. So, to be honest, if you'd have offered me 2-1 at half time, I probably would have taken it and celebrated it as a win. And yes, it is that bad. Shambolic, basically. So, look, man up at the end of the day. Congratulations, Crystal Palace. Very good team. Excellent performance. Thoroughly deserved win. Very, very good set of players. And they deserve it. They've done us now twice. And to be honest, if we're being completely honest, in the Community Shield, Palace probably should have won that by a couple of goals as well. This they could have won. The Put it this way, the Brentford Man United match, which I'm sure highly amused all of us and has kind of salvaged Saturday to an extent. Liverpool were worse than Man United against Brentford this afternoon. That is how bad we are talking. But at the end of the day, you know, it's just one of these. Look, Palace deserved to win. We didn't, and that's the bottom line, as Stone Cold Steve Austin once said. Hi Jamie, you alright, mate? Yeah, like I said, guys, I'll get to the comments in a minute. Just let me get this off my chest because I know I always seem like quite happy and stuff like that, and introverted and a bit geeky and stuff. I am absolutely fuming with that this afternoon. And like I said, I'm not a glorious supporter. I've seen Liverpool lose far worse, with far worse teams than this. I mean, there was a season I watched when we legitimately could have been relegated in about 1993. I mean, if anyone's going nuclear about losing to Crystal Palace, who are second in the league, to an extent, you need to check yourself because trust me, things have been a lot worse for this football club. Yeah, Jamie, how am I? As you might tell, not pleased, my friends, not pleased. Second thing is, God Almighty, I hate playing Crystal Palace. I really, really do. Ever since we beat them 9-0, which some of the older generation may remember, 1989, I think it was John Aldridge's last game. It might have been 88, actually, I can't remember. Ever since then, playing Crystal Palace, except for the time we won 7-0, which was in COVID, every single match against them has been an utter and complete pain in the backside. It literally, you had the Kristen Bull thing, you had them when they knocked us out of, they've knocked us out of the FA Cup once, they've knocked us out in extra time. I think that was in 1993 as well. They've Klopp's first loss was Palace. Sam Allardyce's Wonderful and sexy Crystal Palace turned up and beat us with 2 goals from our former striker, Christian Benteke. The Christian Ball fiasco, let us never speak of that again. And I mean, even in recent times, I mean, they did a 3-1. I think it was one of Brendan Rodgers', I don't know if it was one of his last games, but it was like basically when he was coming to the end at Liverpool. So playing Crystal Palace is just an utter and complete pain in the backside. And in an ironic twist of fate, um, I'm hoping to go and see Liverpool next month. Like I said, I'll confirm it on the channel, but I can't confirm yet, but just leave it with us. But one of the hospitality prices on Seat Loader isn't, it's not great, but it's not horrendous. So there may be financial scope for me to do that. And guess who that's against? Effing Crystal Palace in the League Cup. So I'm just like, do I really want to drop 80, 90 quid on seeing us lose to Crystal Palace? To be, which I really don't, but yeah, it's just sod's law, isn't it? Right, the one thing that Liverpool can complain about, but it's not an excuse for that performance, as far as I'm concerned, because you played to the whistle. The extra time. Now, this has been going on now for a while, and I'm not speaking as a Liverpool fan at the minute. I'm speaking as a football fan. What the hell is going on with these extra time periods? I mean, the bloke literally puts up. Correct me if I've got this wrong, but I think I've got this right. I think he puts up 6 minutes, and again, this is not an excuse. This is just a thing that happened. Um, and he played until 8.5, and then blew his whistle the moment that Palace scored. Now, there's 3 or 4 things about that. There was a substitution, from what I'm given to understand. There may have even been 2 substitutions. Right, so that's 30 seconds. That's fine, not a problem. To the best of my knowledge, unless someone can correct me, I don't think there was a long-term foul or anything in the extra time. So you're talking that's 97 minutes at a push, maybe 97.5. Where's the extra minute come from, though? And like I said, it's not what I saw. I've seen a Newcastle match recently where I don't know what match was, but Newcastle were winning, and the referee puts up whatever it was, about 4 minutes for Newcastle against. I don't know who it was. It could have been like Wolves or something like that, and he ended up going on till I think it's like 8 or 9 minutes. It's like, well, where are you getting these times from? Um, so yeah, the PGMOL needs to provide some sort of explanation about these timekeepings, because I'm just sorry, but it just simply is not good enough as far as I'm concerned. Having said that, um, the throw in, I don't know if anyone's seen the goals. Like I said, I've just seen a highlights package about 40 minutes ago when I was preparing for this. The defending of that throw in is appalling. Absolutely appalling beyond words. I mean, all you've got to do is just, I mean, they've let the ball bounce, and like I don't understand how what 6 to 7 players can miss that. I mean, it's just one of these. Just get it launched. Get it launched. I know everyone. I know we've got to do possession football now, and everyone's got to play sexily and this, that, and the other. Not in the 97th minute or the 98th minute of extra time. You don't. You literally just boot the ball out of play as far as it will bloody well go. Um, the other thing that I am quite livid about, and I understand why Arna's furious and the bench, and there does need to be an explanation provided, because at the end of the day, to add on 2.5 minutes when there's been 6, and to go a minute over without explanation is outrageous. However, my one critique of Slot today and the coaching team, um, we were rubbish today. Absolute garbage beyond word, right? When Freddie Chiesa gets us out of jail in the 87th minute, and I am old school, and I get that a lot of the younger ones like you, and you can disagree if you want to, and I'm more than happy to hear other people's opinions about this. At the 87th minute, knowing how appallingly you have played in that match, you shut up shop, you kick the ball around amongst each other, you get through the next 7 minutes, and you take a point and move on. Now, it's admirable that Liverpool go for these wins, and I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't be. If there was a chance to make an opportunity, then that's fine. But to leave yourself that open, trying to win a match that you have no right not to even lose by 3-0, it is just daft, in my opinion. Now, there'll be a lot more attacking people on this who will share a different opinion with me. Again, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. Just do whatever. That's fine. But in my opinion, you just take the draw and you move on. We're still unbeaten. If we get the draw away against Crystal Palace away from home is nothing to be sniffed at. Because Palace are a top team, and don't let the name Palace confuse you with mid-table. These guys are not mid-table anymore. These are a top draw football team with very good players, international standard level players, and I do think Crystal Palace could, well, probably this year's Nottingham Forest. I would have thought they're going to go very close to possibly. I definitely think they'll get Europe. I reckon there's a chance for them to get top five, and it's not just because we've lost to them. I genuinely think I actually quite enjoy watching Palace, apart from when they beat us. And I think they've got a very good chance this season of doing so. I mean, they're like 3 points off top now, so it was never going to be easy. But as I say, I'm livid. It's one of the only times I've been really annoyed with Slot. I get he's trying to win the match, and it's admirable, and I do understand that. But if you have played that badly, it the only thing that I can equate it to, I don't know if anyone watches things like Police Interceptors, and just stick with me on this. This is a bit of a random example. Police interceptors and traffic cops, and you know when they go into the cities in the middle of the night, and you're getting fellas kicked out the ale houses at like 11 o'clock at night, and they're all absolutely free sheets to the wind, falling about, and this, that, and the other. And then you get one of those scenes where there's a lad who's not caused a massive issue, but the police have come along and said, "You're drunk. We're asking you politely to leave." And then his mates are saying, come on, let's go. And he's like, no, I want to know I'm leaving, blah, 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 blah. And the police are like, look, we could arrest you. We are really do not want to arrest you. Please, would you just leave? And the bloke goes on and on and on. And eventually, like, well, lad, you've been arrested. And he's like, well, why did you arrest me for? Because we told you not to do it. That is the rough equivalent of what Liverpool have done this afternoon in a very roundabout, strange way. I probably could have used a better example, but you get what I mean. I'm sorry, and I know it's very defensive, but as far as I'm concerned, if you have played like crap, you take your point and you get out of there with an undeserved point and you move on. Just what on earth they thought they were doing, trying to actually, I don't want to say win the match, because obviously they do need to try and win the match. And Liverpool Football Club should be trying to win every match they take part in. But there are times when you've got to just hold your hands up and say, look, we shouldn't even be in a position to draw here. We are very lucky, and you just get out of the stadium. It's as simple as that. Swig of tea for the working man while I calm down. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. I just needed to get it off my chest, basically. But on some, I just think it's so hopelessly naive what they've done this afternoon. I really do. But yeah, I will just read some of your comments. Let's have a look. Johnny feels the same as me. Andy Kirkstall. Hell, Andy Robertson should be fuming. Kirk is utterly useless, like Sal. Johnny, don't get me started on Salah. I'm actually going to go on to that point in a minute, because I think there's a very serious conversation that needs to be had about him, and I'm not suggesting this has happened for a long period, but and I'll expand on this. He needs to be dropped. I mean, I can't say any more politely than that. But obviously Salah, to be honest, I thought Atletico Madrid. I thought he was playing really well in that. Obviously, he got the goal and technically an assist. Um, I thought, given the circumstances, he was decent against Bournemouth. Especially because obviously it was so emotional after Jota. And again, I would throw this out there. I'm not saying it should be used as an excuse, but we do need to remember, in terms of concentration levels and everything, that these lads, and I do keep repeating this, have lost one of their best friends in a tragic accident. And again, that does not, I'm not saying that excuses not concentrating at throwing, because that it's not an excuse as far as I'm concerned. But tired minds, things, thinking about other things, it may be a factor. So I just hope we don't go mental. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm criticising today's performance, as simple as that. But don't go mental with the boys, because like they need our support. This is good. I think we all just thought we were going to march through this season undefeated, and I did keep saying, look, we're going to get caught out eventually, and we did get caught out. But Liverpool do deserve some compassion at the same time. They are playing under extremely trying circumstances, and just because everyone's moved on and Diogo's no longer here doesn't mean that they can just move on either. Maybe it has nothing to do with it. I don't know. You'd have to ask the players, but yeah, just to bear that in mind. It's not me being woke or anything like that, because you've always got to avoid being accused of being woke these days. Put Curtis Jones in the freezer. He's as sharp as a blunt berry. Yeah, from what I'm given to understand, he was not good. Let's have a look. Yeah, I said hi to Jamie. Like I said, Jamie, I'm fine. Absolutely fuming though. Allison is God in the flesh and God. Oh, the save that he made. Was it the third save? Was it from Marteta? The one where it's going to. I forget because I've literally just watched the highlights. The one where it's sort of going towards the top corner, and I don't even know how Ali saved that. Certainly he's got nothing to feel ashamed about. I mean, like I said, if it wasn't for Alisson Becker to go, that could have been. You are talking that could have been a 7-2 Aston Villa again. It was that bad. Let's have a look. Mr. Meeseeks 6-7 and 6 or 7 a.m. maybe, I don't know. Yen Tallow, did he have a sub left? Did he bring on a defender when they went level? Do you know what, Yen? Sorry, Yen. Excuse me. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I was listening. Basically, I was listening to most of the match on the radio, and at that point, because this is how exciting my life is as a parent, Liverpool equalised, and I suddenly realised I had to cook my son's dinner because that's how exciting my life is these days. So I actually ended up missing 5 minutes of commentary. I think they brought a sub on, but I couldn't honestly sit here and tell you over its defensive. But like I said, in my opinion, I think they should just keep the draw. In fact, to be honest, I know people will shout at me for this, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't know if Endo did come on, but as soon as Chiesa scored, if I was Slot, I would have said, right, one of the front three comes off. You literally have Endo literally sitting in front of Gravenberch himself. You have two banks of four, and you literally just cut off Palace and you take your point and you go home. But I know people will disagree, and attack is the best form of defence and so on and so forth, but there are times you cannot be that as hopelessly naive as Liverpool were this afternoon, and that's the thing that I'm most angry with today. Look, I can accept the players playing badly. It happens. These lads at the end of the day have brought us in the last, since 2019, what year are we on now, 2025? Something in the region of 9 trophies in like 6 years, and they have worked their you-know-what's off. It's very rare I can criticise Liverpool for application level. I can criticise them for bad play, but these players have given their all, and they've given us some massive moments and memories, so I'm not going to go into them and like absolutely steam into them. But that was hopelessly naive what they've done this afternoon. Hey, Jahor. Yes, you'll be pleased to know I'm doing a SmackDown show later. If you want to check back, mate, I'll be on about 11 o'clock tonight. Let's have a look. Like, subscribe to your channel. Yeah, I know you have, mate. Cheers. WWE War Games, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. That'll be a hell of a match, that. Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. Yeah, I'll be all in on both of those, mate. All in on both of those. Like I said, Shahor, I'll be on 11 o'clock tonight to do the late SmackDown reaction show. For anyone who's watching for the football, by the way, I apologise. I do lots of different shows and stuff. So if you do cross over as a wrestling fan, I will be back on at 11 o'clock. Hopefully when all my family have disappeared and been put to bed for the evening, because that one or two of them do likes to roam the grounds, unfortunately, in the middle of the night, so I usually have to make sure they're all snoring. But yeah, I should be on about 11. It might end up being about 11:20, 11:30, so just bear with us. But yeah, I will be on later now. Noe Donis, Arsenal will win the treble. Well, if we keep playing like that, Noe, then you probably will win the treble. One thing I would say, like I said, I'm not one of these other Liverpool fans. I haven't got a massive issue with Arsenal. I never really have done. I just think your manager comes out of some very daft comments on occasion. But other than that, I've never really had a problem with Arsenal. Um, it's a great opportunity for them tomorrow. I mean, I actually think now Arsenal will win. I had been predicting all week that Newcastle would win, but I think that result, Arteta will be into his players tonight and basically saying, look, if we can cut that gap, because at the end of the day now, we've now got the opposite trouble. We're playing Chelsea away next weekend. I don't know who Arsenal have got, but I don't think I had a look at Arsenal's fixtures and Man City's, and I don't think they're horrendously appalling for the next 7 or 8 games, whereas ours are not wonderful. We've got Chelsea and then we've got Man United, and yes, I know Man United are a word rhyming with lit, shall we say, but it's a Manchester Liverpool derby, and that never runs to how you think it will. And if I'm Ruben Amorim, right now I'm basically putting 11 men behind the ball because they'll just low block us like they did the 3 or 4 years after we did the 7-0. So I actually think this lead we've got will be pretty much gone by about late October. Which doesn't bother me that I didn't think that Liverpool were going to. So when people were saying, "Oh, we can get 5 puts here, 8 puts here, 11 puts here," I was sat there like going, "Can we just chill out a little bit?" At the same time, I did have in the back of my head, if we could do Palace today and the Arsenal did lose, you're talking an 8 point gap. And then had we subsequently beaten Chelsea, and if City had or Arsenal had dropped points, then I was like, well, that's very difficult to claw back. But as it is now, I don't think we'll beat Chelsea next week, and especially after what's just happened to them today, they will not want to be having us turning up and turn them over. So I'd probably take a point, quite honestly. In fact, to be honest, it's probably because we've just lost, and I'm not the most happy person in the world for various reasons. I don't think we'll win any of the next 2 games, to be honest. Galatasaray away, I think that might end up being a draw, which is all right. And then the Chelsea match, yeah, I can actually see us losing, to be honest. Hopefully not. And like I said, I think in the cold light of day when I get up tomorrow, I will probably just think, look, we've won 7 matches out of 8. We've won a first Champions League group. We're 5 points clear. Even if Arsenal win tomorrow, we're 2 points clear. We beat Arsenal, we beat Newcastle. We signed Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz. There are people who have far more pressing concerns than the likes of Liverpool Football Club at the minute. So yeah, probably just a bit of being thoroughly annoyed, basically. Let me have a look. Mandy Shelton, hi. Hi, Mandy Shelton, how you doing? Another swig of tea for the working man. Sorry about the mass drinking, everyone. If you watched me before and you're like, why does, or as my son would say, why does bro keep drinking? Like I have a, I think I can go about 10 minutes of time at a push without drinking tea or water or sometimes beer, which I will be doing this evening after that fiasco. So yeah, I do apologise. Not very professional, but hey ho, it's my live stream. Anyway, I'm just going to go, because I have written like an itinerary for today. So yeah, I should have stuck 11 men behind the ball. The goal is a farce. Let me just have a look. Yeah, obviously we've been getting away with terrible performances, and this was always going to happen. And I mean, if we're honest, like I said, I don't want to start tearing the lads down and taking apart. They've been, in terms of results and not giving up, they've been magnificent this season, and the performances have not been great. But if you're honest about it, even for the first game of the season, I mean, the Bournemouth match, I mean, if Sobbo plays the correct ball and doesn't try that ridiculous step over when I think maybe Gakpo was clear, if that goes 3-0 to Liverpool, then it's a decent. I think if it goes 3-0, I think we beat Bournemouth 3 or 4-0, but then we have, 20 minutes of utter madness. Thanks to Mr. Garner, my good mate, Mr. Semenyo. Shout out to Garner. So that one, I think objectively looking back, I think Liverpool did deserve to win. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bournemouth were very, very good, and they're a very, very good team, and they're going to beat a lot of decent teams this season. I think they could go close to Champions League as well, to be honest. But um, I think if that goes 3-0, I think that's a comfortable win for Liverpool. The Newcastle match, in my opinion, the most we deserved was a draw. I mean, let's have it right. Liverpool were appalling in that match, absolutely atrocious. The Arsenal match, probably a draw. Obviously, but Arsenal at the end of the day didn't go for it, and we did, and we got the win. So you could argue that one. Came back Burnley. Look, I mean, we deserved to win Burnley. I mean, I don't think we actually played that bad. People were saying it was an appalling performance. It was like, well, it wasn't appalling. We were just playing against a team that had literally no ambition to come forward. The Everton match, I thought Liverpool for 55 minutes was superb, and then for 30 minutes they were rubbish. So on balance, Liverpool should have been outside the first half, so they deserved to win that. And then probably just deserved to win Southampton. Atletico Madrid, again, similar story. That should have been, I mean, that should have been 5-0. That was like Palace today. I mean, we literally should have had Atletico down by about 4 or 5 goals before the half-time whistle. And, whee! All my Liverpool stuff's falling. That's quite apt. That's just fallen over. Yes, so I think 10 to 11 points would be a more accurate reflection than the 15 that we have, probably, is what I'm getting at. And we were going to, if we carried on playing like that, we were always going to get caught, and sadly we have done today. So hopefully it's like the Nottingham Forest match last season. So obviously we started off really well, probably more convincing than we have this season. Who was it? Obviously Ipswich, God rest his soul, Diogo. You might be able to see behind me. He got us the win at Ipswich. Then we beat Brentford, I think. Funnily enough, I actually was watching that game whilst I was watching AEW at Wembley Stadium. That was a little bit stressful, to be honest. And then obviously we beat Man United, thoroughly deserved win. And then we came out from the international break, and then obviously we had that appalling performance against Nottingham Forest, who, again, very reminiscent of today. They thoroughly deserve to win. Yeah, so hopefully it's a bit like that. Obviously, we went to Milan, conceded after 3 minutes, and all of a sudden I think everyone was like, here we go. Klopp's replacement. This is where it all goes wrong. And then basically, I think Big Ebu equalised, and then from there we lost, 5 matches out of 50 odd, something along them lines. I don't know exactly how many it was, but obviously the lads were superb. I just think there's something at the moment where we've brought in a lot of players. Obviously, we've had the huge disruption caused by what happened to Diogo. Again, shout out to him and his family. And we've lost, 7 or 8 players. You know what I mean? In the space of literally just under 3 months, 4 months. So there's been a huge turnover. I mean, there's been turnover in staff as well. And it's like, look, like I said, at the end of the day, this isn't an unmitigated disaster. It's just very, very annoying, basically. But it is what it is, basically. Right, one last swig. Apart from that, I might need to have some water in a bit. Anyway, right. Federico Chiesa. He deserves to start for Liverpool. And the reason I'm saying that, it's not just because he scored today. And I know Slot, look, I mean, it's fairly obvious he doesn't fancy him long term. But this season, there's a very compelling case starting to emerge that I wouldn't say as good as Gravenberch, probably not as good as Alisson, definitely not as consistent as Van Dijk, not as much as Sobbo, and probably not as much as Ekitike. They've probably been our standout players, so let's say 5 or 6 of them. Federico Chiesa is very close to being in a second bracket just underneath that of really good players for Liverpool this season. And the reason I say that is he's got a match winner with 15 minutes to play with on the first day of the season against Bournemouth. He's been told he's not in the Champions League squad. He's got his head down. He hasn't moaned, and he's cracked on. And again, it's very unfortunate. Obviously, his countryman Leone had the ACL, but the bloke's worked his excuse me. The bloke's worked his you know what's off, and he's got back into that squad. Arnold could have picked someone else at the end of the day, for all we know. So, you know what I mean. Fair play to him. He had a man of the match performance in midweek. He's assisted 3 goals, I think, for something along the lines. The second assist against who was it, Southampton. I mean, it was like a work of art. I mean, it wasn't really spoke about that much, but when the ball comes in, Chiesa literally just takes it on his foot. No backflip, no nothing. It's just this superb pass to Ekatike. And he scored again today. He's impacted the game. I thought, to be honest, I actually thought I disagreed with a lot of people. I thought he was quite decent against Burnley when he came on. Nearly scored with a header. He definitely unsettled that Burnley defence. Whether we got the penalty because of Chiesa unsettling defence, probably not. But he definitely had an impact on that game. And the thing is, now he's having an impact and he's scoring goals and he's assisting. I mean, at the end of the day, he scored a goal in the League Cup final. Which, again, another appalling performance by us, but that was a clutch moment, and there is another universe where Liverpool get one more chance and make that 2-2, and that was all because of Fede. He's starting to build a very compelling case to be starting for Liverpool, and in my opinion, he needs to start against Galatasaray. The fitness thing is always going to be there with him, but I think he's fit. I don't not like that, obviously. Well, he's a very handsome man, but yeah, no. No, I think he's actually match fit now. I mean, you can tell by his movement and everything that he's still a little bit away, but he's pretty much caught up with the match fitness now, and I just think he's been very, very good this season. And I just think there's one or two people who are like, "Oh yeah, it's been alright, blah blah blah," and it's like, "Well, what's he actually done?" It's like, "Well, he's assisted 3 goals and scored 2 in what, if you added all his time together, what, maybe 3 matches? If you add it in terms of time, maybe 4. I mean, that's a hell of a decent output. And elephant in the room, obviously, I know he's the same side as Mo Salah. And I feel awful saying this about what that man's given to this football club. He's been one of the best players I've ever seen play for Liverpool. He's probably borderline the best player that's ever played for Liverpool, on a par with Gerrard, Suarez, Kenny Dalglish, maybe Graham Souness, possibly John Barnes. He is at that elite level, and he's going to be one of the all-time greats. Mo Salah at the minute, however, is not playing well. Obviously, he's got the goals to back it up, and he has got an assist. Look, at the end of the day, he's got 3 or 4 goals, and that's what Mo Salah's there for. But when he doesn't score and plays like that, he stinks the joint out. And I mean, even just listening to Five Loudstart, I mean, he was borderline appalling. I mean, I think it was Sutton that's saying basically he's done absolutely nothing in the game, and there's been a few like that this season where he's done absolutely naff all. But yeah, I would start Chiesa over Salah. Personally, for me, I would bring back. I mean, I'm going to do a team for Galatasaray in a second. I'd have Ekatike, and obviously, if we're saying Salah's not playing very well, there needs to be a conversation about Wirtz. I'm just wondering whether it started to get into his head a little bit. I mean, look, no one played well today other than Alisson Becker. They were all absolute garbage, basically. But yeah, Wirtz has not started well. I don't think he's been as bad as everyone's made out. But Salah's been pretty abysmal in quite a few of these matches. I feel awful saying that, but it needs saying. And Fede is playing well at the minute. He's assisting and scoring goals. That's what he's there to do. So I would start him personally. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's still going to take a hell of a turnaround, but if we can get Federico Chiesa for 12 million quid and get him back into pre-Euros and Euros Fede Chiesa of 4 or 5 years ago, I mean, that is really, really exciting. I mean, we've got Gakpo, who's gone off the boil a little bit. I mean, if you've got fully firing Ekatike, obviously we've got Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz. If we can get them sorted, then yeah, it's very exciting. But for me, Chiesa has to start on Wednesday, and I would start him for the next two games. And obviously, you've got to be careful how you approach Mo. But I think slot one long term is going to have Isak and Ekatike, and I'm not saying he should be booting Salah out of the team or anything far from it. But I mean, um, if you do get what am I trying to say? If you do get Chiesa fit at the end of the day, the other thing that you've got to think of is that Federico Chiesa's just turned 27. Mo Salah is what, 33? And again, I'm not suggesting booting that side. I just think Mo needs a rest. Obviously, I mean he needs to play a lot because we are going to lose him for AFCON. Um, yeah, no, like I said, I just think Mo's been very poor. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I think Chiesa should start. In fact, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the team that I'd play against Galatasaray. So obviously we're playing them on Tuesday night. I think it's the 8 o'clock kickoff. Um, I would go with, and this is probably a little bit controversial. I wouldn't take Alison Becker. I think you need to wrap him up a little bit in cotton wool, even because at the end of the day, I mean, that bloke has saved us. I mean, literally, I would not even have him on the plane. I would just get him ready for Chelsea next week. So I play Mamadashvili, I play Frimpong, just Virgil van Dijk. I'd actually play Joe Gomez and take Canate out. I think he needs taking out again. He's not having the best season I've ever seen. I don't know if this Real Madrid thing started to do his head in or whatever. I don't know. I'd probably I think Kirk has again. Sobbo and Gravenberg definitely. In terms of the midfield, I'd probably still go with McAllister, but there's probably a case for possibly having Jones at this point. Who again, unfortunately, was not great either, but he won't play Endo. That's the thing. So, and in terms of up front, I'd bring Ekatike straight back in because he's now turning into. I'm not saying Roberto Firmino, obviously, but like he seems to be the only player that actually links everything together at the minute, which is really weird because he's like a 23-year-old lad. He's only played 6 games for us, but yeah. So I bring him back in. Like I said, I would say Feddy, right, you're our striker for the minute. Isak did not look fit to me today. I mean, the chance that he had was, I mean, you're bordering that thing that lads usually say, like, "Oh, my missus could score that." I think my missus genuinely could have scored that if I'd put a rope round her eyes. So, I'd I'd maybe just build Isaac up a little bit. I would probably get him ready for Chelsea as well. I just think the Galatasaray one is a lot of travel. I don't know where Chelsea are travelling to this week. So, I think they're at Stamford Bridge though. I mean, do our really good players need to be travelling potentially thousands of miles to Turkey? I would probably suggest not. So yeah, that's the team I'd go for anyway. And just to end, because like I said, I think we should all go and drown our sorrows this evening. I know I am going to do. Don't drink, kids, but it's just not worth it. But for adults, though, yes, drink. I will be. The Chelsea match now next week. I mean, I suppose to be honest, it all depends on Newcastle United tomorrow. Now, I did have Newcastle beating Arsenal. I think this has changed everything now. I think I could see Arsenal actually beating Newcastle quite comfortably, 2 or 3 nil. Now that they've got that incentive, I mean, if Arteta doesn't go for it tomorrow, I mean, when is he going to go for it? I mean, Newcastle do have a very good record against Arsenal over the last couple of years. I mean, surely he has to go for it now because I mean that cuts the gap to what, 2 points, and then if we lose to Chelsea, and we're likely to drop points because our record at Stamford Bridge isn't great. You're talking by the time the international break comes back, potentially Arsenal, Man City are level, if not ahead of us. So I think he's got to go for it tomorrow. I think if he doesn't go for it and he settles on a draw again, the Arsenal fan base are going to go mental beyond words because, I mean, they should have been beating City last week. I mean, let's have it right. Arsenal at the moment, obviously, Man City have got a fantastic team, and I'm not disrespecting them anyway, but I mean, let's have it right. Arsenal are better than Man City at the minute. I mean, it's clear. I mean, they are just better than them, in my opinion. But if Newcastle possibly could do us a very, very big favour and win tomorrow, one of my best mates is a Newcastle fan who might be watching this. So, lad, please have a word. I know you're not a huge fan of Liverpool for obvious reasons at the minute, but if you could win tomorrow, that would be excellent. And then, yeah, if we can get a draw at Chelsea, at bare minimum, get out of there with a point, then it's like, well, we've got, 16 points out of whatever it would be. God, my maths is atrocious. 16 points out of 21 or whatever it would be, something along them lines. Yeah. Yeah, Chelsea match is very important. So I'm not suggesting we sack off Galatasaray by any imagination, because obviously I don't want Liverpool losing any game of football. But I think you can take a risk with Galatasaray, and even if you do lose it, it's like, look, basically Liverpool need 3 wins and a draw from 7 games, and the group's got Karabag, Marseille, PSV Eindhoven. I mean, if Liverpool can't cobble up 3 wins out of that and a point, I mean, they don't deserve to get through anyway. But obviously, we can beat Galatasaray, that'd be awesome. But I would take the risk in order to try and beat Chelsea, is what I'm saying, basically. Let me have a look at Cosmic Blake, because Lord knows I'm not going to read the other one. Are you black? As far as I know, I am, yeah. No, I'm only joking. Yes, I am black. Mixed race, black, British, /white, /Ghanaian. So, black. Yeah, basically. Yeah, no, yeah, dude, honestly, the lighting in here is just like... I have tried setting, like, I wouldn't call this a studio. Basically, it's a 3rd bedroom, but I kind of pass it off as a studio. But, like, the lighting in our house is, like, honest to God, I've never had so much trouble trying to find an area to actually do these live streams. It's like we're bathed in bloody light all the time. So, yeah, that's probably why you can't see me, to be honest. I am literally right next to me. Camera and stuff at the minute as well, so yeah, but yes, I am black. Right, guys, yeah, I think we should all go to the pub now, basically, and drown our sorrows. Not that I'm encouraging drinking, and obviously I won't be drinking this evening either. Yeah, so cool. Just before I go, like I do every week, I will just go through what I'm doing on the channel, and for new people, I will explain again what it is that I actually do. So it's my channel. So subscribers, obviously I apologize because you would have heard me do this like a million times, but if you're not a subscriber, basically my channel is Geek Boy Meta, and that's Geek Boy Meta 7381. Okay. And basically I don't just concentrate on Liverpool, so I've got about 7 sections, playlists, and 3 podcasts that I do, which are Geek Boy Does Wrestling, which I'm doing tonight, which I'll tell you about in a minute. Geek Boy Does Pride, Geek Boy Does Horror, Geek Boy Does Toy Hunts, Geek Boy Does Comic Cons, Geek Boy Does Football, and Geek Boy Does Liverpool FC, which is what you are watching at the minute. So that's my thing. So basically I do live reactions to most of the Liverpool matches that I can do. Obviously if you're a Reds fan, I've got loads and loads of content on my channel, so there's there's actual footage of me at Anfield for Tottenham last year, 2 lots of Legends games, a Southampton match, and another one, I think. I can't quite remember. I've been to about, if you include the Legends matches, I've been to about 4 or 5 games in the last 18 months, which I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, I went about 6 or 7 years without actually seeing the Reds live, so that's actually good for me. So yeah, there's loads of highlights and stuff on there. I usually do shorts whenever Liverpool do anything like transfer wise and stuff. Sometimes I do like a Monday morning podcast as well, for what's happened with the Reds over the weekend, which I might not do this week because I'm not really inclined to talk about us losing. But no, like I said, I might do something on Monday. And yeah, obviously all my other playlists. So I've been to AEW at Wembley a couple of times. I've just been to WWE in Leeds, where I'm from. There's loads of Comic Con videos, toy hunts, Pride festivals, horror conventions that I've been to as well. So I'm kind of like an all-rounder, hence Geek Boy Meta, basically. So yeah, if you want to like and subscribe and see what I do, you're more than welcome to. If you just want to watch this and you don't want to, then no pressure, just whatever. I also do free podcasts, so this will be the Liverpool podcast. So if you just go on YouTube podcast, it'll be Geek Boy, a Liverpool story. And then I also do Geek Boy, a movie story, where I do film reviews and stuff like that. Yes, because I do that as well. Also, just while I'm thinking about it, I'm actually doing two of them in the next 2 weeks. So I don't know how many of you like horror. Obviously, I've got a horror playlist. I'm going to be doing live reaction to Black Phone 2 because I really love Black Phone 1. And I'm going this Friday to see The Smashing Machine starring a Mr. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Because I think that could be really, really cool. I've just seen Weapons recently as well, actually. I was going to do a review of that, but I saw it like 4 weeks after it came out, so there wasn't much point. But yeah, bit of a tangent. If you've not seen Weapons, guys, go and see Weapons. It's the best film this year. The end, simple as that. I know everyone's going mental about that Leo DiCaprio film, but without having seen it, sorry, Weapons wins the end. But yeah, I'll be doing sort of live reactions to Black Phone 2, Predator Badlands, and what have I just said? The Smashing Machine. So yeah, I do that for Geek Boy does. No, that's Geek Boy, a movie story. And then I also do Geek Boy, a wrestling story, which is when I do the wrestling podcasts and stuff. One of which I'm doing tonight, which is the live late SmackDown review show, which I'm starting to do on Saturday nights now. So that's going to be from 11 o'clock tonight, providing I can get all the family members clear, give or take. Fingers crossed on that one. And yeah, basically that's what I do, guys. So if you fancy watching any of that, obviously you can join me tonight. So that'll be about 11 o'clock. And I will be talking about, along similar lines, one of the worst SmackDown shows I think I have ever seen. It was garbage, but please come and listen to me anyway, and I'll tell you how bad it was. Apart from, shout out to Jade Cargill getting through that match. That was gnarly what happened to her last one. So yeah, in terms of what's happening next week, like I said, SmackDown reviews tomorrow. Oh, I've just done a trailer as well for an event I'm doing called Geekoween, which is like I'm going to be going to loads of horror movie conventions and horror cons and this, that, and the other over November, and like spooky adjacent things. So I'm calling the whole month Geekoween, basically. So that trailer will be coming out 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So if you're a subscriber, check that out, and if not, just check it out and see if it's something that you'd like to see. In terms of next week, like I said, I should be doing a Liverpool podcast about 1 or 2 o'clock. Excuse me. The next time I'll be doing a Liverpool thing. Basically, will be on Monday. I probably will do a podcast when I'm sorry, a live stream even when I've calmed down. Because, like I said, I'm semi-adjacent furious about today. So in the cold light of day, I can probably give a lot more balanced thing about what's happened and stuff. So yeah, Liverpool podcast, Liverpool live stream will be on Monday, probably about 1 or 2 o'clock. HFWL, hi, how you doing? Early hours of Tuesday morning, it'll be Monday Night Raw, so I should be on about 3:30. In fact, I need to check that because Raw's been starting earlier, so it might be 2:30. So bear with us on that one. I won't be able to do a live reaction directly after Galatasaray because I'm watching it, well, basically with my family, basically. And I think we're having a meal or whatever, so I will not be able to do one straight after that. I will do like a quick reaction to it, but I'm going to do the Galatasaray reaction show probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, give or take. Thursday is when I review AEW Dynamite. That's usually about 9:30 on Thursdays. Due to life change of circumstances, I'm going to have to change some of these around too, due to work reasons, because I wouldn't say I've got a new job, but I've kind of got a thing that I need to do, which I'll tell you more about when I know what's going to happen. But yeah, a lot of my shows will probably have to go back to the evenings at least for a while. But just bear with me on that one. It won't be for another 2 or 3 weeks. But put it this way: I don't think I'll be able to do live reaction to Monday Night Raw probably till Christmas. It'll have to be probably on the Tuesday nights from now on. But I'll let you guys know. So yeah, I usually do Dynamite Thursday. Friday is Toy Shorts Friday, where I put like 5, 6 toy shorts. I mean, long time subscribers will know that I love toys and this, that, and the other, as you can see behind me. In fact, spare me a second. I'll actually show you my room. So if you are a toy fan or a collectibles fan, that is your boy's room. There you go. And I've got all my Liverpool gear with Funkos. That's my Diogo shirt that I did. And that's all my Liverpool clobber just over there. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, professional that. I do something called Toy Short Friday. So like I said, there'll be about 5, 6 toy shorts that I put on. Long time subscribers will know that I usually put them on about 8 o'clock on Friday night. So come and check us out for that. And then next Saturday, I don't think there's anything on Sunday next week, as far as I'm aware. There'll be the SmackDown late night reaction show again, but I'm not sure when I'm going to do that. Because in fact, I might have to cancel that and do it possibly on the Sunday, because the Chelsea match I've just suddenly clicked is 5:30, isn't it, next week? With that being 5:30, and there's a fairly good chance I'll be watching that at a public house in Leeds somewhere. Hey, it's in Leeds. At least we'll get some support for that one. They bloody hate Chelsea here, crikey. Um, um, if the Chelsea match is at 5:30, I think. Sorry, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I might be able to catch it after the first 20 minutes, give or take. So I might go out and try and watch it. If I do, I don't know if I'll be going out with any of my friends. I might even just go and see it on my own. If I do, and I do see it on my own, I'll try and do a live reaction from like Leeds City Centre. If not, it might just have to wait till 11, 12 o'clock on after the Chelsea match. So I might like combine it for when match of the day starts or something random like that. So yeah, just bear with us on that one. But yes, I will definitely do a live reaction of Chelsea. And then obviously we're going into the international break after that, and that's when I'm starting my Geekoween stuff. So like I said, I'll be going to in fact, I'll tell you guys now. I'll be going to Sheffield Comic Con next Sunday, Hull Horror Fest, Leeds Light Night, Barnsley Comic Con, and there's a couple of other bits and pieces as well that I'm doing that are like horror themed. So yeah, because I absolutely love my horror movies. I'm going to try and do a horror movie watch long as well that I've put out to subscribers. If anyone fancies doing that, so far I've given back 4 choices. Red Rise is winning, so I hope it does because I love that film. So I might do a watch along with that. But knowing how my shows are, and there's a lot of crossovers, I will probably end up sitting there with like I don't know, half a bottle of wine, talking tories about Liverpool or wrestling instead of actually watching the film. So yeah, which is fine. I don't mind doing crossovers. It's just good to talk to people. So but yeah, that's enough for me, folks. So thank you for listening to me on about the other stuff that I do. Like I said, for Liverpool, next podcast will be live stream. Excuse me, will be probably about 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon, possibly 1 o'clock Monday afternoon. And like I said, I'll be doing live reaction for Galatasaray, but it'll be the day after because I can't do it just after because I've got family commitments that day. And I will definitely be doing live reaction of Chelsea next Saturday, but that might have to be 11 or 12. And if it is, that means the SmackDown live reaction show will probably have to move to, I don't know, Sunday or something along them lines, or I might just have to cancel it altogether. Either way, this tonight's complete debacle. I hope you all have a brilliant Saturday night. And if you feel rubbish about the Chelsea result, my advice is like a bottle of something nice, get yourself a takeaway, just watch the Man United bit of match of the day, get a film on, ignore this, and then, yeah. And then we'll all feel better tomorrow when Newcastle beat Arsenal. Fingers crossed, anyway. But yeah, anyway, guys, I will see you all for the Liverpool live stream on Monday. And I might see some of you tonight for the late night SmackDown reaction show. Like I said, that's going to be at 11 o'clock, so I'll be back on basically in about 4 hours. And yeah, we'll talk some wrestling. Which again, that wasn't brilliant either, so I'm not really selling this very well, am I? But yeah, cool, nice one. Right, guys, I'm going to head off, and I will see some of you at 11 o'clock this evening for SmackDown. See you later, guys. Bye-bye. Up the Reds.